Hi, my name's Llyr Lewis, originally from Caernarfon in Wales, but now living in Cardiff, the capital city of Wales. And I'm a writer in the Welsh language of poetry and more recently of prose. I published my first book of poetry, Storm ar Wyneb yr Haul, or Storm on the Surface of the Sun, back in 2014. And that's also when I published my first prose volume, which was Rhyw Rhyfel, or Flowers of War. And my poetry, I suppose, is mainly concerned with working out tensions of place and of Welshness within Welsh landscape and in the Welsh language. The prose volume, Rhyw Rhyfel, looks at the process of memory and its relationship with memorialisation, especially as people of my generation try to come to terms with what happened during the First and the Second World Wars and the way that those conflicts are now passing out of memory, but are sort of living on in the memories of people like our grandparents, and how we process that and how we react to that and how we memorialise it. I think that to write politically in Welsh, some people would argue that you can't write in the Welsh language without in some way being political, because to write in Welsh, unfortunately by today, is in itself a political act, because the Welsh language is a minority language, and so it's a political expression to be writing in Welsh anyway. But I think that more recently, especially since the Brexit vote last year, a lot of people have been thinking about what is Wales' place within Europe, within the UK, and how we're being sort of increasingly marginalised, I think, mainly due to our own fault almost. So I think that we really need poetry and prose in Welsh now more than ever in order to work those issues out.
Rhyddid. Dwi'n diffodd y radio digidol, yn dod yn fôl at y set fach donfedd hir, yn troi'r olwyn fel bod y llais a'r pi yn pylun storm o hisian braf. Yn yr eira clywedol hwnnw, yn niwl yr analog mae'r tonfeddi'n ymestyn, a minnau'n anadlu o chenaidd o'r yddhad, yn rhydd o linella syth y digidol. A chaf, rhwng gorsafoedd, fod y radio'n ymhyfrydu yn amwysedd y tonfeddi. Yno, yn yr ehander rhwng cracl a gwych, mae un gronyn o enni'r bydysawd, na allai mo'i weld, na i glywed, ond fel cefndir i gefndir, neu fel be welai'n y bore, heb ysbectol.
In recent times, I don't think it's been more poignant and more important to think of myself as a European writer, given the recent events in Britain. And I think, for me, being an European is a way of bypassing Anglo-American culture and feeling that there is a place within a wider network for my culture, for my language, and for my worldview, and for that to be able to be shared within a larger framework and a larger context without feeling too much of an influence from one dominant culture, in a sense. So for me, I think it's quite ironic that at this time when Britain itself is trying to detach itself from Europe, that it's never been more important for me to think of myself and for others to see me, I suppose, as an European. So even though I'm a writer on the very sort of the margins, the frayed edges of Europe, it's very, very important to me.